Sit. Good. Go to your mat. Down. Good. Good. We always have her sit and wait for permission to go to the mat first. So you saw I had her sit. I said, go to your mat, patted her chest with my right hand, said, go to your mat. Then she came over on the mat and I said down, and she went down. And I started rewarding her from standing in front of her, just like this. Good. Make sure that she takes it off the mat, not out of your hand. Make sure she's not grabbing your hand to try to get to the rewards. And just the basic downstay, of course, is just having her be able to accept you walking around either way like this, either direction. And you can start with that. And then, of course, she gets a reward from that. Always, no matter where you go, what you do, you always come out here, reward her in the same way. Good, just like that. See how I walk up to her? I'm pretty much standing over her, and she waits till I deposit the reward on the mat, and she takes it off the mat. As you can see, she's getting kind of crooked. So you could either reset her by getting her up and doing a little circle, or you could take the reward, a handful of this natural balance, is what I'm using, and lure her to be in the middle of the mat. So you can just kind of do that. And then you want her rear end straight too. So you kind of lure her back like this. It's kind of like steering a big rig truck or something without even touching her. And then making sure that she's straight. And then when she's where you want her to be, good, you mark that spot right there. It's kind of a good thing to do. Even though you're luring her, she's still making the choice to do it on her own. Even though you're helping her, you're not touching her. So it's really important that you, hey, there you go. It's really important that you, whenever possible, try to lure her into sits and downs if you have to, instead of forcing her. Because even though you are helping her a lot, she's following the lure, you're just giving her a hint, and she is still making the choice, good, to do it herself rather than you pushing her down or putting your hands on her to move her around. You want to keep that stuff to a minimum, because they can very often make mistakes on purpose because they want you to touch them. So that's why we do a lot of luring. Or if you have to reinforce it in a physical way, you do it with the leash, because the leash is an impersonal way to do it, much better than touching her with your hands. Good. And I'm not saying that we never would touch her with our hands, but we try to keep that to a real minimum. So once she's able to stay in a down, stay on the mat, wherever you are, in your yard, in your house, wherever you're doing it, you can start walking farther away. Good. And when you were here and visited me, we did this in the house, and she was in the living room, and I would go outside, as you saw, and I knocked on the door, rang the doorbell, banged on the windows. She wouldn't move, so she was perfect inside the house, and that's what we did at your house as well. And now we're about to deliver her today for the final lesson delivery. And so I thought I'd do this out in the yard, because you may want to do this out in your yard as well.